Welcome back. We're about to find today's number one. One of these people could win up to £2,500. And let's see who we've got left from our original 10 players. At number 5, we've got Keith Beddoes, a machinist from Wolverhampton. Keith, you've been vying for that top spot, but you got sent down to the end, and now you've got to fight your way back up. Keith's been vying through that previous round with our man at podium number 1, Andy Rayburn, a GP from Cheshire. Andy, have you got your patients cheering you on at home, or have you kept this secret?
I'm hoping none are watching.
Now, who do you fear most out of this lot?
I think anybody could win it.
Anyone could win it. It's that kind of game, isn't it? At number 4, we've got Pete Mason, a charge nurse from Sutton Coldfield. So let's see if the nurse can make his way up to beat the doctor. At number 3, Frank Walker is an IT consultant from East London. Frank, you qualified at number 6, but you've made it up to number 3. You've been playing a fairly quiet game. Let's see how it develops now. Rather aptly, you've got a technology student next to you. At number 2, Gary Woodward is from Swinton in Manchester. Gary, you qualified at number 4. You've been at the top, but let's see if you can make it back there. What we're going to do now is play a series of head-to-heads, starting with the 2 podiums at the end. The first person to get 3 correct questions survives and challenges the next person in line until we find our number 1. So, first up, 5 against 4, Keith v Pete. Fingers on buzzers. For which attempted act of treason were the brothers Robert and Thomas Winter executed? Pete.
Gunpowder Plot.
Correct, you've got 1 point. What was the title of the television programme filmed on the Hebridean island of Tarrantay? Keith.
Castaway. 2000.
In the year 2000, it was Castaway. You've got 1 point. 1 point apiece. Which modern English city was known as Diva by the Romans? Keith.
Chester.
Correct, you've got 2 points now against Pete's 1. What is the name of the site in Cheshire where the world's largest radio telescope at the time was built in the 50s? Keith.
Jodrell Bank.
Is the right answer. You've got all 3 points. You move up to podium number 4. Pete, you move down to number 5. And I'm afraid at this point that means you're out. So Keith moves up, but can he take the number 3 podium off Frank? Fingers on buzzers. Which country is home to leading football clubs Boca Juniors and... Keith.
Argentina.
And Independiente, it is Argentina, 1 point. What's the name of Terence and Shirley Conran's fashion designer's son? Keith.
Jasper.
Is the right answer. You've got 2 points. So, Frank, you must get this next question right to stay in the game. Which American country and western singer asked how long it takes to do her hair replied, I don't know, I'm never there? Keith.
Dolly Parton.
It was Dolly Parton. You've got all 3 points, Keith, and move up to take podium number 3. Frank, you move down, and he's beaten you. I'm afraid you're out. So Keith moves up again to take on Gary at podium number 2. Who was appointed engineer to the Great Western Railway Company in 1833? It was Isambard Kingdom Brunel. Who finished second to Eric Pickles at Brentwood and Ongar in the 2001? Gary.
Martin Bell.
In the general election, it was Martin Bell. You've got 1 point. Which East Coast resort advertised itself for many years as being so bracing? It was Skegness. What are the large blue, the large copper and the large tortoiseshell, which scientists say are now extinct in the UK? Keith.
Butterflies.
They are butterflies. You've got 1 point. In which chapel in the Vatican did the Pope hold a special service in 1999? Gary.
Sistine Chapel.
It was the Sistine Chapel to mark the completion of restoration work on Michelangelo's ceiling. You've got 2 points, so Keith, you must get this next question right to stay in the game. Jazz pianist John Nelson is the father of which rock star? It's Prince. Which country was the setting for the children's television drama Heartbreak High? Gary.
Australia.
It was Australia, so Gary, you've got all 3 points. That means you've defeated Keith at podium number 3, and Keith, I'm afraid we lose you. So can Gary take that number 1 podium off Andy? Whoever wins between you two will get the chance to play for that £2,500. It's the student versus the doctor. Which office was held by Edward Heath in 1939, Michael Heseltine in 1954, and William Hague in 1981? Andy.
Welsh Office. Secretary of State for Wales.
No, they were all presidents of the Oxford Union Debating Society. The point goes to Gary. Properly called a modulator-demodulator. Gary.
Modem.
It is a modem. You've got 2 points. Andy, you must get a question right now to have a chance of being number one. Which species of Paleolithic man takes its name from the ravine in Germany? Andy,
Neanderthal.
where parts of a skeleton were found, it was Neanderthal. You've got 1 point. So 2 points to 1. In the film Mary Riley, starring Julia Roberts, which famous horror story is told? Andy.
Frankenstein.
Oh, Andy, it's not Frankenstein. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, told from the viewpoint of a housemaid, which means the point goes to Gary. Gary, move up to that top podium. It means you are today's number one. So congratulations, Gary. Andy, what's it like watching them catch you up like that when you're sitting there at number one?
It's only a game show.
It's only a game show, you're quite right. Well, Gary, as number one, you've already won the right to come and play again on the next programme, but right now you're going to play for the cash, and there is £2,500 up for grabs. But Andy and the other people you defeated will get the chance to steal it off you. So will everybody please return to your podiums? Right, what we're going to do is ask all the defeated players to take on Gary head-to-head on a single question for increasing amounts of money, beginning with £50 when it's Shane there at number 10, right up to £1,000 when it's Andy up there at podium number 2. Now, all of you get to choose the subject of the question from this range. They go from rivers to Egyptian myth. But you've got to choose carefully, because if Gary doesn't like the sound of it, he may decide to pass and move the money up to increase the risk on his next question. So, Shane, for £50, pick a subject.
Rap artists.
Gary, you're going to take him on rap artists. Play or pass?
No thanks, I'll pass that one.
You're going to pass. Is that the subject or the player you're afraid of?
The subject, totally.
Right, OK. Well, Shane, I'm afraid you don't get a chance at the cash. Let's move the money up. Sally, that makes your question worth £100. Pick a subject.
Streets.
Gary, play or pass?
I'll have a go at streets, yeah.
OK, you'll have a go. For £100, what colour is Fleet Street on Gary?
It's red.
On Monopoly, it is red, so you win the £100. Sally, I'm afraid no money for you. David, your chance to steal £100 here. Pick a subject.
I think I'll have words, please.
Play or pass, Gary?
Yeah, I'll play words, please.
OK, fingers on buzzers. For £100, which word can precede all of the following to make a longer word or phrase? Bag, partner, car, pill. David.
Sleeping.
Is the right answer. It's a good steal, and David, you're going home with £100. Maura, for £100, pick a subject.
I'll have to be famous females.
Have to be famous females. Gary, you going to play on that one?
Yeah, okay, why not?
For £100, in 1999, actress Letitia Castor took over as which French national symbol of womanhood following Catherine Deneuve? Mara.
Joan of Arc.
No, following Catherine Deneuve and Brigitte Bardot, it was Marianne, which means the money goes to Gary, and Maura, I'm afraid no money for you. So we move to Phil. Phil, you won £250 when you won the last programme. This would be a chance of a £200 bonus. Pick a subject.
Politics.
Play or pass, Gary? He's a good player.
Nothing about politics, I know, I'm afraid, so I'm going to pass.
It's the subject rather than the player you're afraid of, is it? Right, OK. Well, Phil, I'm afraid you don't get a chance at the cash. And let's move the money up. So, Pete, that makes your question worth £400. Pick a subject.
It has to be rivers, please.
Gary, play or pass?
I'll have a go, yeah.
OK. For £400, which city, with Manchester, stands on the River Irwell? Pete.
Bury.
I was looking for Salford, Pete, which means the £400 goes to Gary, and Pete, no money for you. So, Frank, this is worth £300. What'll it be?
Chart hits.
Gary, chart hits. Play or pass?
I'll play.
For £300 now, Wheatus had a major hit with Teenage What? Gary.
Dirtbag.
Is the right answer. You win the £300, and Frank, I'm afraid, no money for you. So, Keith, out for a bit of revenge? It's worth £500.
Hopefully.
Egyptian mythology, please.
Gary, play or pass on Egyptian mythology?
In that case, I don't want to risk everything on English kings, so I'll have a go with this one.
All right. Well, for £500, in Egyptian mythology, which sun god was swallowed every night by Nut, the sky goddess, and reborn every morning? Gary.
Ra?
Is the right answer. You win the £500, and Keith, I'm afraid, no money for you. So, Gary, you've got £1,400. You could make it £2,400 if you get this next question right, but you are up against Andy. who is one of our strongest players. There is no choice, you have to take English kings. So fingers on buzzers for £1,000. By what number was James II of England known in Scotland? Andy.
James VII of Scotland.
Is the right answer. Andy, you win the £1,000. And Gary, that means that you've got a total of £1,400 out of the 2,500. It's a good score. And of course, as our number one, you've won the right to come and join us again on the next programme to improve on it. I hope you'll join us then too, when Gary will be taking on 9 new contestants, all battling to be number one.
Fancy a trip to Barbados? Thought you'd say that. Be there in spirit for a place in the sun at 5:25. Closer to home next, though, daytime continues with Countdown.
When did you become you? How did you learn to think, to imagine? When did you realize you were a boy or a girl? A new series explores how our minds develop as children and how we gain a sense of self. A Child's World starts tonight at 8:30 on 4.